Noah and Mia were just ordinary kids playing carefree in their quiet neighborhood, but no one knew that one seemingly harmless decision would lead them into a dangerous curiosity. It all started with a movie that Noah should never have watched. A simple question slowly opened the door to a world he was not ready for. And when his parents finally discovered the truth, they realized things had gone further than they ever imagined. Is there a way to prevent these risks before it's too late? The truth at the end will shock you. Watch until the end to uncover the unexpected truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated on important stories about parenting and child safety. In the peaceful town of Riverview, two families live side by side, leading quiet and simple lives. Anna, a dedicated nurse, was a single mother raising her 12-year-old son, Noah. She spent long hours at the hospital, often leaving early in the morning and returning late at night. Despite her demanding job, she always made sure Noah had everything he needed: a warm meal after school, a tidy home, and above all, her love and attention whenever she was home. Next door, Daniel was a software engineer who worked remotely from home, balancing conference calls and coding projects while raising his 12-year-old daughter, Mia. Unlike Anna, who had an unpredictable work schedule, Daniel was always around but often buried in his laptop, focused on deadlines and projects. He loved his daughter deeply, but his way of caring for her was different, allowing her independence, while assuming she would come to him if she ever needed anything. Although Anna and Daniel rarely interacted beyond polite greetings, their children had been best friends since they were toddlers. Noah and Mia spent almost every day together, walking to school, playing in the afternoons, and creating imaginary adventures in their shared backyard space. They had even built a small wooden clubhouse nestled between two tall oak trees in Noah's backyard, a secret hideout where they kept their childhood treasures: drawings, old toys, and notes about their dream adventures. The clubhouse was their safe space, a place where they could be kids away from homework and parental rules. They spent hours inside telling stories, playing board games, and imagining themselves as explorers or time travelers. It was the kind of childhood friendship filled with endless laughter, inside jokes, and the belief that nothing could ever change between them. One sunny Saturday afternoon, Anna glanced out her kitchen window and saw the two kids outside painting their clubhouse. Their clothes were covered in splashes of bright blue and red paint, their faces lit up with pure joy as they laughed at each other's messy artwork. Anna smiled watching them, but at the same time she felt a familiar ache in her chest. They were growing up so quickly, she thought. She remembered when Noah was just a small boy, holding her hand everywhere they went, but now he was taller, more independent, and curious about the world in ways she did not always understand. As the days passed, Anna and Daniel noticed small changes in their children. Noah had started asking more questions about grown-up topics, things that seemed to come out of nowhere. Mia, on the other hand, remained the same cheerful girl, more interested in cartoons and collecting stickers than in the deeper thoughts Noah sometimes voiced. One afternoon, as they sat inside their clubhouse, Noah hesitated before asking Mia a question that had been on his mind. Do you ever wonder about what it will be like when we're older, when we live on our own and do things like adults do? Mia looked up from her sketchbook where she was drawing a picture of their clubhouse. Not really, she said, shrugging. I like how things are now, don't you? Yeah, I do, Noah said, but his mind was still filled with questions. Questions he was not sure how to ask out loud. Over the next few weeks, his curiosity only grew stronger. While Anna was working night shifts, Noah spent more time alone in his room, watching movies that he had stumbled upon online. Some were harmless, but others introduced ideas and images that he did not fully understand. At first, he was just curious, but soon he started thinking about them. More often, wondering about things that no one had ever explained to him. Mia did not notice the changes in Noah at first. To her, he was still the same best friend who loved building forts and eating too many cookies when they hung out at her house. But one day after school, as they walked home together, she finally sensed something different. Noah, why do you watch those movies? My dad says kids our age shouldn't watch them, Mia said casually, kicking a rock on the sidewalk. Noah shrugged, stuffing his hands into his jacket pockets. I don't know, they're just interesting, I guess. Don't you ever wonder about that stuff? Mia looked at him curiously, but then shook her head. No, I think it's boring. I like watching cartoons better. Noah laughed, trying to act normal. Cartoons are fun, but I like learning about new things too. They reached their houses and Mia waved goodbye, running up her front steps without a second thought. But Noah stood outside for a moment, his thoughts swirling. He was not sure why he felt so drawn to the things he had been watching, but he could not shake the feeling that there was something more, something he needed to understand. On a rainy Saturday afternoon, when both parents were busy, Noah and Mia decided to watch a movie together in Noah's living room. Anna was at work and Daniel had stepped out for errands, leaving the two kids alone for a few hours. They scrolled through Noah's movie collection and he picked a film he thought would be exciting. "I don't know about this," Mia said, hesitating when the movie started showing scenes she was not used to. "It's just a movie," Noah said, trying to sound casual. "It's not real." But as the movie played, Mia started feeling uncomfortable. She glanced at Noah, noticing how he seemed more focused than usual, his expression serious in a way she had not seen before. "Do you think people really do stuff like that?" she asked quietly. Noah shrugged again, but did not say anything. The movie ended, and they sat in silence for a while, both feeling strange about what they had just seen. "Let's go to the clubhouse," Noah finally said. Mia nodded, relieved to step away from the screen. They ran outside in the rain, seeking shelter in their wooden hideout, where everything still felt normal and safe. As they sat there listening to the rain, Noah suddenly asked Mia another question, one that made her shift uncomfortably. "Why are you so curious about this stuff?" Mia asked, staring at him. "I don't know," Noah admitted. "I just want to understand it." Mia did not know how to respond. Before they could talk more, Daniel's voice called from his backyard. "Mia, come home, it's time for dinner." Mia left without another word, but the questions remained unanswered, lingering in both their minds. The innocence of their childhood had shifted slightly, though neither of them fully understood how or why. In the following days, Noah couldn't stop thinking about the movie he had watched. He didn't understand why it intrigued him so much, but every time he was alone, the images from the film kept replaying in his mind. He started searching for more similar movies. Every time his mother worked the night shift, he would hide in his room, turn off the lights, and continue exploring a new world he had never been interested in before. At first, he only wanted to understand what he had seen, but the more he watched, the more he felt drawn to it in a way he couldn't explain. Mia hadn't noticed anything different about Noah at first. To her, he was still the same playful boy who loved messing around and telling jokes. But in those moments when he was alone, Noah was changing. He became more distant, often lost in thought, and sometimes he wasn't even paying attention when they talked. One day after school, as they sat on the steps of their treehouse, Mia casually asked Noah why he had been acting differently lately. "Do I seem different?" Noah asked with a small smile. "Yeah, you seem distracted, and you don't like playing the same games as before." Noah didn't know how to answer, so he just shrugged and changed the subject. But the truth was, he no longer found their old games exciting. He had started wanting to explore more, to understand what the adult world was really like. One cloudy Saturday afternoon, Mia came over as usual, but this time, Noah had a different idea. He invited Mia up to his room and suggested they watch another movie together. Mia hesitated, remembering how uncomfortable she had felt last time, and shook her head, saying she wasn't interested. But Noah kept trying to convince her. "It's just a movie. You'll be fine. I've watched a few more, and there's nothing scary about them." Mia hesitated for a moment, then reluctantly sat down next to Noah on his bed. As the movie started playing, she immediately felt that this one was even more intense than the last. The scenes made her feel uneasy, but Noah remained completely focused on the screen, absorbed in what he was watching. "Noah, are you sure we should be watching this?" Mia asked softly, gripping the edge of the blanket. "It's fine," Noah replied without looking away. But Mia didn't feel fine. After a while, she stood up and said she wanted to go home. "What's wrong?" "We're only halfway through," Noah said, looking confused. "I don't like this," Mia replied firmly. "It feels weird, and I don't think we should be watching it." With that, she quickly left the room, leaving Noah sitting there alone. For the first time, he felt a strange discomfort, a sense that maybe something wasn't right. That night, Mia couldn't stop thinking about their conversation. She felt like something had changed between them ever since Noah started watching those movies. The next day at school, she didn't laugh or talk as easily as before. She kept her distance and didn't ask Noah to play with her like she usually did. Noah noticed, but he didn't understand why Mia was acting this way. He didn't think there was anything wrong with his curiosity, so why was Mia being so distant? Hadn't they always shared everything with each other? A week passed, and the tension between them remained. Noah felt frustrated with the growing distance between him and Mia, but he didn't know how to fix it. One afternoon, as Mia sat reading under the oak tree, Noah approached and sat beside her. "Are you mad at me?" Noah asked quietly. Mia shook her head. "I'm not mad, but I don't understand why you're so interested in watching those movies." "I don't know," Noah admitted. "I just want to understand." "What's there to understand?" Mia frowned. "I don't think they're as interesting as you do." Noah didn't know what to say. He had never struggled to explain something before, but now he felt like he couldn't put his thoughts into words. Finally, Mia sighed and said, "I think you should talk to your mom or my dad." Noah laughed. "What do you think they'll say? They'll probably just tell me I'm not allowed to watch anymore." Mia looked at him for a long time before sighing. "If you keep going down this path, I'm afraid we won't be the same anymore." Her words hit Noah hard. He had never considered that possibility before. He didn't want to lose their friendship, but he also couldn't stop thinking about what he had been watching. Meanwhile, Anna had started noticing changes in her son. Noah was quieter, more withdrawn. Every time she came home from a late shift, she found his bedroom door shut. He no longer excitedly shared details about his day the way he used to. One night, when Noah was asleep, Anna decided to check his computer, and when she saw his search history, she froze. The next morning, when Noah woke up, Anna was already sitting at the kitchen table waiting for him. "We need to talk," she said, her voice calm but firm. Noah immediately felt uneasy. He slowly sat down across from her. "I know what you've been watching," Anna said directly. Noah's eyes widened and his heart pounded. "I'm not angry," Anna continued. "I just want to understand what's going on in your mind. Why are you so curious about these things?" Noah lowered his head, feeling a wave of embarrassment. "I don't know," he admitted. "I just saw them and wanted to understand." "I didn't think it was wrong," Anna nodded. "I understand that you're curious, and I don't blame you for that. But the things you've been watching aren't the right way to learn. Those movies don't show reality, and they can make you think about things in a way that's not true or healthy." Noah remained silent, unsure of how to respond. Anna studied him for a moment before saying, "I think it's time we had a real conversation about this, and I think we need to talk to Mia's dad as well." Hearing those words made Noah more anxious than ever. What would Mia think if she found out? Had he made everything worse? But deep down, he knew his mother was right. He had stepped into a world he didn't fully understand, and maybe it was time for someone to help him navigate it rather than trying to figure it out on his own. Noah sat silently in his chair, his heart pounding as he listened to his mother say that she had discovered everything. He didn't know how to react. Part of him wanted to deny it, but another part knew that there was no point in hiding. Anna wasn't angry. She didn't yell or scold him like he had feared. Instead, her eyes were gentle yet serious. "You don't need to feel ashamed. I know you're curious, and that's completely normal. But what you've been watching is not the best way to understand the real world. Those movies don't reflect reality, and if you let them influence your thinking, they can make you see things in a completely wrong way." Noah remained silent, staring down at the table. He had never thought about it like that before. In his mind, those movies were just things adults watched, and now he wanted to explore more. But as his mother spoke, he started to realize that what he saw on the screen didn't necessarily represent the truth. Anna continued, "I think we need to talk to Mia's father about this." Noah immediately felt a wave of fear. If Mia found out about this, what would she think of him? He had already felt a growing distance between them. If everything was exposed, would Mia even want to be his friend anymore? But Anna had already made her decision. That evening, she called Daniel and invited him over to discuss the situation. When Daniel arrived, Mia came with him. As she stepped inside, she gave Noah a worried look, as if she had already sensed that something wasn't right. Anna took a deep breath before beginning the conversation. She explained that Noah had been watching inappropriate content recently, and that it had affected the way he viewed the world around him. Daniel listened quietly before turning to his daughter. Mia didn't seem entirely surprised. She had already noticed changes in Noah before, but now, hearing it directly from an adult, she finally understood how serious it was. Daniel finally spoke. Noah, you're not wrong for being curious, but the way you're trying to learn isn't right. Those movies aren't meant for kids for a reason. They don't reflect reality, and if you get exposed to them too early, you can develop completely false ideas about important things in life. Mia looked at Noah and said, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. Noah lowered his head, feeling guiltier than ever. He hadn't realized that what he was doing wasn't just affecting himself, but also his friendship with Mia. Daniel continued, From now on, your mom and I are going to help you both understand what's appropriate for your age. We're not here to forbid you from everything, but we want to guide you in the right way. Anna nodded in agreement and looked at Noah. I don't want you to feel ashamed of your curiosity, but I want you to know that if you ever have any questions, I'm always here to talk to you. I don't want you searching for answers in the wrong places. The conversation ended with a new plan. Anna and Daniel decided to monitor their children's internet use more closely, while also making more time to talk openly with them about their questions and thoughts. Mia felt relieved that the adults handled the situation with understanding rather than simply punishing them. After that evening, Noah and Mia no longer felt distant from each other. Noah realized that he had let his curiosity go too far and had almost lost one of the most important friendships in his life. Mia also understood that curiosity could sometimes lead people down the wrong path, but the key was knowing where the right boundaries were. A week later, on a bright and breezy afternoon, Noah and Mia sat in their treehouse like they always had before. But this time, everything felt normal again, just like the old days. Mia looked at Noah and smiled. So, do you still have questions about that stuff? Noah shook his head and laughed. Not anymore. I think I get it now. They both laughed together, returning to their childhood conversations as if nothing had ever changed. Their treehouse remained a safe place, where everything still felt familiar, where nothing had been lost, and where their friendship remained as strong as ever. This story isn't just about a boy's curiosity. It's a lesson for all parents. Children are naturally curious about the world, but without the right guidance, they might seek answers from places that aren't appropriate. Simply forbidding them won't help. What's important is having open conversations and helping them understand the world in a way that's healthy and positive. What do you think about this story? Have you ever had to deal with a similar situation with your children or loved ones? Share your thoughts and let's discuss how we can help children learn about the world in a better way.